Senate Minority Leader Pimentel believes the Senate can start impeachment proceedings against Vice President Sara Duterte as early as March. At the Kapihan sa Senado forum on Thursday, February 20, Pimentel says Senate President Cheese Escudero himself is prepared for the trial. He also knows that the rules have already been reviewed. Asked when the impeachment trial should start, Pimentel says,
March na, kasi medyo prepared naman si SP na, pinareview na niya rules, so madali naman yung pagka the court is now in session, mag-oath kami, we reaffirm the existing rules para lang wala nang issue na kung valid siya o hindi. Kung may proposed amendments, kilusan na namin. And then padala na ng i-authorize na namin ng Senate President to send summons to the impeached official para umandar na yung 10 days. Sayang din yun.
While Pimentel insists that the trial should start by March, he also says that his use of the word trial was a bit broad.
When I use the word trial lang, medyo generic yung paggamit ko ng trial. Ibig sabihin the entire process. Hindi pa siguro mauupo yung witness sa witness stand. Basta isa na yung trial. In the sense na pasagutin mo na si impeached official, pasagutin mo tapos ipa-respond mo si prosecutors.
Pimentel is likewise appealing to Escudero to call for an all-senators caucus and finally decide on the timeline of the impeachment proceedings. Asked if he is also planning to talk to other senators, Pimentel answers in the negative. He notes that he doesn't want to make it appear that he's trying to sway his colleagues to his position.
Ang maganda sigurong gawin ng Senate President, magpatawag na po siya ng kahit caucus man lang. So, caucus muna. Caucus muna. Then, pakinggan nila ako. Ngayon kung talagang ayaw nila, aminin namin sa taong bayan na ayaw nila. Ganun siguro kasi. Because if this is really a political question, then therefore it is a legitimate political issue, di ba? For the people.
Earlier, Escudero said the Senate is already preparing for the impeachment trial, but it will not start until sessions resume. He previously said the impeachment trial against Duterte may only start in July after President Bongbong Marcos's fourth State of the Nation address. Acting in impeachment complaints is a constitutional duty and not a cheering contest, according to House Deputy Minority Leader Franz Castro. Her statement comes after Senate President Cheese Escudero questioned the supposed clamor to expedite the Senate's role in Vice President Sara Duterte's impeachment. In a statement on Thursday, February 20, Castro believes Escudero is missing the point with his remark. She emphasizes that it would be a disservice to the public not to fulfill the constitutional duty. Castro also stresses the urgency of convening the impeachment court since Duterte has taken legal steps to nullify the complaint against her. Castro underscores that the Senate's constitutional responsibility is not a matter of whether there is sufficient clamor. Escudero reiterated that the impeachment trial of Duterte would begin in July after President Bongbong Marcos's fourth State of the Nation address. Escudero added that the Senate is slowly but surely building up its preparations for the trial. He likewise noted that the chamber has started reviewing materials from previous impeachment proceedings to determine whether they can still be reused or replaced. Several incumbent senators believe they can start the impeachment proceedings against Vice President Sara Duterte during the 19th Congress, according to former Senate President Tito Sotto. During a press briefing, Sotto was asked about Senate President Cheese Escudero's statements that the trial would likely begin during the 20th Congress. Sotto then asked if that was the opinion only of Escudero, as some sitting senators told him they can take up impeachment now. Sotto reiterates his belief that the Senate should have referred the articles of impeachment to the plenary when they received it on February 5, instead of adjourning the session without tackling it. This way, the Senate committees could have discussed the issue even while the session is on a break. The former Senate head also believes it would not hinder the campaign plans of some senators seeking re-election. He notes that having the impeachment televised nationwide is better campaign material. Sotto himself is seeking a Senate comeback in the midterm polls. Escudero has been adamant that Duterte's fate will be decided by the 20th Congress. He previously said the impeachment trial of Duterte would begin after President Bongbong Marcos's fourth State of the Nation address in July. This would be after the 20th Congress opens its session. However, Senate Minority Leader Pimentel called on the Senate leadership to swiftly act on the impeachment. Various legal experts, politicians, and civil society leaders have also urged the chamber to already constitute itself into an impeachment court. 5 fishermen were rescued in the vicinity waters of the Spratly Islands in the West Philippine Sea after an unknown vessel rammed their boat on January 30. In a report on Thursday, February 20, the Philippine Coast Guard says the fishing boat Prince Elmo II was hit in the vicinity of Lubang Island last month. The agency says Vietnamese cargo vessel MV Dong An saw the fishermen in the area on February 16 and reported it to Philippine authorities. According to the PCG, 5 fisherfolk were rescued while 3 others are still missing. The PCG says it deployed BRP Boracay to meet with MV Dong An in vicinity waters of Corregidor Island on February 19. BRP Boracay, along with medical and nursing service personnel, received the fishermen. They were then taken to the Coast Guard substation at Naik, Cavite and the Municipal Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office. Lieutenant Commander Michael John Encina says the 5 fishermen were able to survive on fish and algae before they were rescued. He notes all fishermen are physically well after the PCG medical debrief. The Commission on Elections announces that all survey firms must now register before the poll body during the election period. The poll body approved Comelec Resolution number 11117 during its regular en banc session on Wednesday, February 19. The resolution covers any person, candidate, or organization that conducts and publicly disseminates an election survey. They must register with the Comelec's Political Finance and Affairs Department. Comelec says it recognizes the influence of surveys in shaping voter preferences. It also highlights the need for transparency in the conduct and publication of surveys. Survey firms are required to submit a comprehensive report to the Political Finance and Affairs Department within 5 days from the publication of their survey. If applicable, firms should also report the total amount spent by candidates should they commission a survey. This will enable the Comelec to verify if the candidate's statement of contributions and expenditures are accurate. Comelec emphasizes that only pre-registered entities shall be authorized to conduct and publicly disseminate election surveys. Firms that are already conducting their survey prior to the resolution have 15 days to register at the Comelec. According to the Comelec, failure to register within the prescribed time frame shall result in the suspension of their authority to conduct and publish election surveys. Meanwhile, the Comelec's Education and Information Department is tasked to establish a verification mechanism. They will authenticate election survey results and prevent the dissemination of fraudulent surveys falsely attributed to legitimate pollsters.